Florida, former Vice President Mike Pence has directly rebutted Donald Trump's false claims that he somehow could have overturned the results of the 2020 election, saying that the former president was simply wrong. In a speech to a gathering of the conservative Federalist Society in Florida Friday, Pence addressed Trump's intensifying efforts this week to advance the false narrative that, as vice president, he had the unilateral power to prevent President Joe Biden from taking office. "President Trump is wrong," Pence said. "I had no right to overturn the election." Pence's declaration marked his most forceful response yet to Trump, who has spent his post-presidency fueling the lie that the 2020 campaign was stolen from him. And it comes as Pence begins laying the groundwork for a potential run for president in 2024, which could put him in direct competition with his former boss, who is also teasing a comeback run. The relationship between the two men took on a new dynamic this week as Trump escalated his attacks on Pence. In a statement Tuesday, Trump said the committee investigating the deadly January 6 attack on the Capitol should instead probe why Mike Pence did not send back the votes for recertification or approval. And on Sunday, he blasted Pence, falsely declaring that he could have overturned the election. Vice presidents play only a ceremonial role in the counting of electoral college votes, and any attempt to interfere in the count would have represented an extraordinary violation of the law and an assault on the democratic process. Pence, in his remarks Friday to the group of lawyers in Lake Buena Vista, described January 6, 2021 as a dark day in the history of the United States Capitol, and framed his actions that day as in line with his duty as a constitutional conservative. "The American people must know that we will always keep our oath to the Constitution, even when it would be politically expedient to do otherwise," he told the group Friday. He noted that, under Article I, Section 1 of the Constitution, elections are conducted at the state level, not by the Congress, and that the only role of Congress with respect to the Electoral College is to open and count votes submitted and certified by the states. No more, no less. He went on to call out those who have insisted that isn't the case. "Frankly, there is no idea more un-American than the notion that any one person could choose the American president," he added. "Under the Constitution, I had no right to change the outcome of our election. And Kamala Harris will have no right to overturn the election when we beat them in 2024. The audience applauded Pence's line about beating the Democrats in the upcoming presidential election, but remained silent when Pence said earlier that Trump is wrong. As Pence countered Trump in Florida, Republican officials gathered in Utah to align themselves even more closely with the former president. The Republican National Committee censured Representatives Liz Cheney of Wyoming and Adam Kinzinger of Illinois for participating on the committee investigating the January 6 insurrection. The GOP also assailed the panel for leading a persecution of ordinary citizens engaged in legitimate political discourse. Pence was inside the Capitol on January 6, presiding over the joint session of Congress to certify the presidential election, when a mob of Trump's supporters violently smashed inside, assaulting police officers and hunting down lawmakers. Pence, who released a letter moments before the session got underway that made clear he had no authority to overturn the will of the voters, was rushed to safety as some rioters chanted "Hang Mike Pence." The former vice president, in his remarks Friday, acknowledged the lingering anger among many in Trump's base, even as he said it was time to focus on the future. "The truth is, there's more at stake than our party or political fortunes," he said. "Men and women, if we lose faith in the Constitution, we won't just lose elections, we'll lose our country." Trump aides did not immediately respond to requests for comment on the speech. Trump released a statement shortly after that slammed the January 6 committee, but notably made no mention of Pence. Trump's escalating rhetoric comes as he is under growing scrutiny from the committee, which has now interviewed hundreds of witnesses, issued dozens of subpoenas, and obtained reams of government documents that Trump tried to keep hidden. It also comes as a bipartisan group of lawmakers push to update the Electoral Count Act to eliminate any ambiguity about the vice president's role. Pence has so far tried to thread a needle on his actions January 6, which continue to enrage large portions of Trump's base, posing a potential complication if he runs for president in 2024. Adblock test why.